Okay, so hello again. So the next one would be for those who have their mean and standard deviation. So basically, you also need to have your social demographics, same with the first video that I uploaded, and you will also have your frequency distribution, and you also need to get a percentage. So meaning to say, in your data collection procedure you have four. So you need to have your frequency distribution, you need also your percentages or your percentage, you also need to have as well your mean and your standard deviation. Okay, so for what we call the analysis, or no, not first. So we have for the tabulation, since you can actually check the first video, so that you could actually form, or you can make a table for your social demographics. So let's now move on with the frequency, oh no, the mean, and as well as the standard deviation. So let's say, for example, I have 10 respondents, and my focus would be, let's say, for the I think it would be easier if I have, let's say, the BEC encounters. Okay, so let's have the BEC encounters. Let's say, for example, the BEC is categorized into three. So we have the gospel reading, we have the sharing, and of course the piso-piso for the kubos. So we have three aspects. Or let's have first two. Okay, so that it will be easier. So again, BEC sharing, and then the groupings or the WASI groupings. So let's say, for example, your question number one, or your SOP, is what is, let's say, the impact of this BEC to the students. So you have to get the mean of each question. So let's say, for example, if you have your, let's say, 5 questions per category, let's say for the letter A, let's have A for the BEC, the gospel, and letter B for the what we call BEC sharing. Or this would be for the groupings. Let's say, for example, I have 5 questions for each. Now, if I have 5 questions for each, and you use your interval scale, your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is your interval scale. And then your respondents made, or rather check, the following boxes or column for each number. So let's say, for example, I have 10 respond. Let's say, let's have 5, so that it will be easier for me to count. Let's say 5 respondents, and then these 5 respondents, you need first to tally. It's actually better if you tally it already by individual, but if you want to have first in general, for you to answer your SOP number 1, that would be okay. So let's say, for example, we have number 1. If the answer, let's say the respondent answered, let's say, for example, we have 4, 5, 4, 5, 5. This is for the BC Gospel, for the reading. So others would say 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Then we have 4, 5, 5, 5, 4. Then we have, let's say, 3, 4, 4, 4. Then we have another for 3, 5, 5, 4, 5. Let's take, for example, this way. Okay, I hope you can see that. Let's say, for example, this is your table. Now, if you have here, let's say for the gospel, we have, sorry, 5. So make sure that it will be equal as well to 5 respondents. So let's have answer for question number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning to say all of the respondents answered. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, check. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, this one, it's a typo error. Oh, no, wait. Not a typo error, but there was just an error. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say, for example, I made a mistake here, 1, and it becomes, let's say, 6, meaning to say there is something wrong with your tallying. There was a problem. Or same thing goes, if there is only 4 here, you can actually double check, meaning to say your respondents, or your respondent was not able to answer that question. Okay, so meaning to say I got all 5 here. Now, if I'm going to get the mean for, this is for each question, okay? So all you have to do is just to multiply. Since this one, we have 3 respondents who answer 4, this is equivalent to 4 points each. So all you have to do is to have 4 times 1 to 3, that's 12, plus 3, 1, 2 times 2, that's 6. So you may label it so that it will be easier for you to count. So we got 12 plus 6, that will be 18. And in order for you to get the mean, you have to divide. So 18 divided by, we have for the total respondents, which is of course 5. So it's 18 divided by 5. So let me see if I have my calculator with me. I think not, so I'll just do manual. So that's 18 divided by 5, that's 15, carry 3, that's 30, 6, that's 30, that's 3.6. So I will have the mean here for question number 1 in general is 3.6. So I'll be writing it 3.6 because this is the mean. Now I still have 4 questions to go. Aside from this one, I still have another 5. So we still have 9 questions left. So meaning to say, individually, you need to get the mean for each question as a whole. Okay, that's in general, meaning to say all of the respondents. So you get the mean for each. So let's take for example, I am done with the mean, let's say. Okay, so how does it look like? How will be the table look like? So you have here the measurement scale, or before the measurement scale, let's have first the table for you to answer your SOP number 1. So if this is the general table and I have here your SOP number 1, of course you need to indicate your question, and you have here letter A for the gospel, and we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you have 5 questions, and then you have here the mean and the interpretation. Always remember to indicate your interpretation. Then you need also to get the interpretation or the mean for the entire letter A. Let's say for example, I got 3. It will be I don't have the calculator, so let's say everybody got 4.0 mean. Let's say for example, okay? So you need to have the total as well for the mean for the letter A, aside from the individual. So you have, of course, let's say for example this one, you have here your questions. So basically you have 4.0 as your mean. Let's say for example that these are the general mean for each questions, using that, or I mean tallying the entire respondents. So meaning to say, if you need to get the mean for the A, for the entire gospel, what is the impact? So you need to count all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to add everything. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 10, 20 divided by the number of course, of the questions we have here. So 1, 2, 3, not the questions I mean, but you also need to divide for how many means do you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20 divided by 4. That's no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20 divided by 4. Wait. So 20 divided by 4. So that's 5.0. So your total mean here, you need to indicate here the 5.0, and you also need to interpret. For the interpretation part, you need to have the scaling as well. Aside from the interval, you need to have the ratio scaling from 0. Okay, so if you have 5, so you will have 0 to 1.0, 1.01 to 2.0, 2.01 to 3.0, 3.01 to 3 point, no, to 4.0, and 4.01 to 5.0. So we have here, it's still the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, you just started with 0. So that's ratio scaling. So 0 to 1, 1.0. Then if, for example, these are the mean, you need to get the equivalent of each mean. If it's 4.0, so you check the range, 4.0, so this will fall here. So let's say, for example, we have here strongly agree and agree. So this one is agree, so you write here agree. Same thing goes with the others. And if it's 5, so 5 here, that's strongly agree, so you write as well strongly agree. You need to fully spelled the words. So that's for the general. Okay, so same thing goes with the other variables. Let's say for example, if you have here the letter B, same thing goes. You need also to have here the letter, this is letter A gospel. Then you need to make another table for your letter B, which is about the WESI groupings. Then write the 5 questions here. Then put the mean and the interpretation for each, and that's it. Okay, so that's for the mean, and right after this, we'll be having the table for those for the frequency or for the percentage. Because for the mean and stat work, or for the students whose topics are, let's say, about, or you have there the interval scaling, so you need to have the percentage, the mean, and the standard deviation. So I'll be back. In order for me to check, I'll just look for a calculator if there is. If not, I'll just do it manually. So thank you so much again. So I think the comment button, or the comment section I mean, is turned off. I don't know why. So maybe there is for, I just don't know. Well, anyway, so thank you so much. So you may visit us. You may visit this one, and I'll be uploading this later. Okay, thank you.